can be a part of the conversation. So stay tuned. I'll be connecting with Fouad Said in just a minute, our in-house analyst, and we're going to unpack the stories that have been reported on the front pages of our dailies. We'll offer insight and opinions to these matters. Like I said, a lot of these issues are developing stories, and we'll do the best we can to refresh your memory, lay the foundation before we get into the most recent development when it comes to these stories. Punch, Guardian, Vanguard is what we'll be looking at this morning. Although the papers, the front pages seem to be bought out, but we still have looks between the pages, and we've brought certain stories that we think are of great significance to the fore. Before we start talking, let's bring Fouad Said on board. Fouad, welcome. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Sage. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm well. Do you sleep well?
Yeah, I'm fantastic. I had a restful night. A restful one.
I'm just asking because I want to be kind. No,
I'm
no.
nice.
I'm just asking because I'm trying to be nice. And now
restful night.
If you like, don't sleep. Fine, now you know. If you like, don't sleep, because there are many things that are happening right now. Anybody that not sleep now, sorry for you, because
and that's one thing about me, really. See, when it's time to sleep, sleep comes so easy for me. I don't know. I think it's
so why are you usually awake that you are sending people story to read on?
When I want to be awake, it comes easy too. So I can sleep in 1 minute, and the next minute I'm awake. You know, and if I need to sleep in the next minute again, it just comes natural.
I don't have that much of, I don't have that great of a sleep pattern. I don't have any control, and that's why I'm always tired, and that's why I always have eye bags, and I'm always disoriented most of the time.
I can control myself when it comes.
Wow, sleep bender. Thank you. Let's talk about the papers. Okay, start with the Punch newspaper. Let's start by talking about what's going on in Rivers State. I think that's a very significant conversation. And the Punch is, like I said, the front pages have been bought out, so we're looking at mid-page stories.
I think First wants to build a new headquarters, right?
Yes. An eco-friendly headquarters. I think the power is going to be clean energy. It's going to be powered by clean energy, so it's a big deal. And so all the
front. It's in Lagos, right?
I believe so. I haven't really read it. I haven't really read Abuja. I mean, there are other places that. No, you asked. I know, but you said where else? I'm just saying, if anybody would consider outside Lagos, it would be Abuja.
Where the business exists.
Even though we have, but congratulations to First Bank, right? So they did, buy out the front pages of most of the papers, but it's okay. We still have stories, definitely. Let's talk Rivers State. Like I said earlier, Rivers State, Niger Delta Group threatens violence as budget ultimatum expires today. Now, the body tells us that tension in Rivers State have escalated as Ijaw groups, including the Ijaw National Congress, INC, and the Ijaw Youth Council, IYC, issued a strong warning against the impeachment of Governor Siminalayi Fubara. Now, the group declared their readiness to defend Fubara's mandate, cautioning that any move to remove him could destabilize the Niger Delta and disrupt oil production in the region. The warning follows the expiration of the 48-hour ultimatum issued by the Martin Amewule-led Rivers State House of Assembly for Fubara to resubmit the 2025 budget for approval. Now, the Assembly stands calm after a Supreme Court judgment on Friday, February 28, that reaffirmed its legitimacy, intensifying the ongoing political battle between the governor and lawmakers loyal to his predecessors and Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. Following the Supreme Court judgment that had mandated that the budget be represented to the 27 lawmaker who had initially defected, recognizing them and asking that the budget be represented, and also the possession of funds to Rivers State. The Assembly, the Martin Amewule-led Assembly, decided to exercise their power and in fact give an ultimatum to the Rivers State governor, 48 hours to represent the budget. Now, that 48 hours elapses today, and now there's been conversations around, well, if he doesn't present the budget today and the Assembly makes any moves that they had made in the past, if they decide to start a move to impeach Fubara, the Ijaw Youth is threatening that there would be unrest in Rivers State, and in fact they would also see that there is a disruption in oil production in Rivers State. They go on ahead actually to talk about how for the first time they have a riverine governor, and they have, like, for example, the Ijaw Youth have supported past governors. They've done everything that they can. They even supported the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, but for the first time they have a riverine governor there, and from the very onset, there's been move to remove him. He's not been able to enjoy his tenure, and so they've had enough. Any move to remove him will lead to unrest in Rivers State. Fuad, now we are seeing a threat to the lives and properties of people in Rivers State because certain individuals will just not stand down. Your thoughts?
Well, it's very, very unfortunate that we found ourselves in this situation. I don't know whether this threat to begin to cause trouble in the Niger Delta region, in particularly Rivers State, will save Fᴜභārā from any attempt by these guys to want to impeach him. I think that's actually the game plan. You've seen that even the Godfather himself, in his last interview, talked about the fact that, look, Fᴜභārā had already committed impeachable offenses. And that, look, it was just about democracy, the preservation of the rule of law, blah, 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 and all of that. So, and if you look at the body language, even before this crisis got to this level, the Martin Amiwili led State Assembly has never had any regard for Fᴜභārā. In fact, I think the script has always been, look, let's get this guy out. We made him governor. We can remove him at will. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So now that the Ijaw youth are saying that, look, any attempt to want to impeach him was going to cause chaos and crisis in the state, I think first and foremost we need to appeal to those youth that they should jettison any idea to begin to cause destruction to the lives and properties of people or even the nation. I'm someone that would always condemn any attempt to pick up arms and ammunition against the Nigerian state. No matter the excuse you want to give, there will always be this conversation, we'll always have this disagreement, but to now get to the point where you now begin to pick up arms against the state, I think it's just something we have to loudly condemn. But again, we are in this situation because our politicians have refused to learn any lesson. We are in this situation in Rivers State because of the greediness of the political class. We are in this situation again because our judiciary has become completely culpable in this needless crisis. We've gotten to the point where it's almost looking as if it's a joke. The judiciary is gradually becoming a joke. We can live in denial about it. We can continue to be delusional about it. The reality is that there are a lot of questions about the credibility of the Nigerian courts and judiciary as a whole. As a people, we have not committed to addressing those concerns. Because one of the fundamentals of any successful democracy in the world is the sanctity of the judiciary. The fact that when everything goes south, there's always the judiciary to whip everybody back to life in its interpretation of the law without bias or any form of partisanship to a political party or a political individual. But in Nigeria, it's a different case. You read judgments as, even without being a lawyer, you know that something is wrong somewhere. It's just clear. Like I said, it's not about being delusional or trying to deceive yourself about these things. Like I've told a number of people, one of the worst form of lie is the one that you tell to yourself. And people are getting to the point where they keep lying to themselves about this. It's even more, though they know the truth. So, again, like I told you the last time, Rivers State is on the edge as we speak. Nobody knows what can happen in the next minute. The Godfather is not ready to back down. His so-called loyalists who are supposed to be loyal to the state are not ready to back down. If Fᴜභārā, for example, is thinking in his head, I can't allow these guys to just mess me up. Even if I'm going to go down, I'm not going to go down without a fight. So where does that put the faith of the Rivers people? And where does that put our democracy? It's unfortunate. We warn about these things. People are saying, Fᴜභārā, I was talking about the Lagos State Assembly yesterday. I said that, look, people who benefit from impunity should also be ready to face the consequences of impunity when it comes. If Fᴜභārā, for example, this is exactly what we've been talking about. How the Godfather imposed him on others, how the PDP emerged as the candidate of the PDP for governorship without any permit because the Godfather wanted it. And now that, the Godfather thinks he's not doing his bidding the way you expect him to do it, they've gone after him. But at the end of the day, what we are saying is that our politicians should please and please not burn down this country. These crises are getting too many. We have crisis in Rivers State, crisis in Kano, crisis in Osun, crisis in Lagos, in Kaduna State. It's not getting better. Benue State to the Godfather and the governor would not allow the state to rest. The problem is the politicians will not learn from. If for 25 years this is where we are, I think we can just conclude that no, these guys are not ready to learn. Unless something happens that brings them back to reality of our democracy. This democracy is not working. We've monetized the electoral system. You know, with poverty has been weaponized to the point where people know. But I've been seeing somebody walking around Nigeria now. Moving from one place to another, sharing things to people. And when I see politicians giving handouts to poor people, they package food and give it to them, I just laugh. This was the end game anyways. Weaponize poverty to the point where people are subdued, you know, to the point where they have no choice but to always come to you to beg for things. You are not going to create an enabling environment for people to be able to do businesses and thrive on their own. They must always come back to you because that has always been the game plan. Make them poor so that they are always stupid to take nonsense from you.
Well, that story is in the Punch newspaper. I think all eyes is currently on Rivers State right now to see if the Jᴏ youth will make good of that threat. Hopefully, they do not make good of that threat. But there's an opportunity to go to the negotiating table because Fubara has said that we would wait to see the certified true copy, and that should take something around 7 days. And then yes, and then you go and give a 48-hour ultimatum. It's a contradiction. So if they should open an opportunity for dialogue, well, give us an opportunity, 7 days, to get the certified true copy. When we get the certified true copy, we would go ahead when we're convinced. We go ahead with the implementation of that particular.
These guys cannot wait for 7 days. They stay for 8 hours.
I mean, they've waited for longer with the whole legal battle about their legitimacy. They waited for weeks, even months. So an extra 7 days is not going to do anything.
You think these guys even see the governor as anything? There's a different governor in their head who lives in Abuja. They didn't see Fubara as anything. I'm telling you. There was a time one of the other guys that left as local government chairman had called Fubara all manner of names, unprintable names. To them, the man who is still the governor is the man who is in Abuja controlling them. And they're so happy. You know the funny thing is that these guys who have become willing to of the grandmaster in Abuja, the day the grandmaster turns against them, they will not come to the public again to beg for our support. They are enjoying it now because they have that backing. And so when they eventually take power, if it happens, I can assure you that they too will also face the consequence of encouraging this impunity. And at that time, they start to complain again. It's just so ridiculous. And to see adults, sometimes I look at it, okay, well, money. Okay, it's all about money. So after money, what else? No dignity, no integrity. It's just about money.
It's sad indeed. You're not supposed to pay attention to the individual. You're supposed to pay attention to the office. That's what ideally it should be, but that's not the case in Rivers State. Well, let's see what happens. Hopefully we have security agents that know the responsibility that has now been dropped on their laps. Not that they should be positioned. Nobody's asking them to go on ahead to invade Rivers State. Absolutely not. But with an open threat like this one, I can hope that we'll have proactive security structure that can step in the event of any breakdown of law and order. I would just assume
security structure is overstretched.
Well, I mean,
we should avoid crises of this nature coming up.
Of course, an avoidance is definitely what we're looking for. But then, if we're in a very volatile situation, River State is very volatile, so we should have a proactive security system that would be able to at least douse whatever tensions might arise because of this tussle. That's what I'm saying. Let's hope so. Yes, we'll move on to other stories now. But before we do that, please forgive me. We're supposed to announce this across all shows in celebration of International Women's Day. We've decided to open an opportunity for you to actually celebrate special women in your life via our social media platforms. So please follow us on Instagram, and you can send us a picture and the name of said woman. It could be your mom, your daughter, your girlfriend, whoever it is. We would have it posted on our Instagram story. We would put a little message there and tell them that it's from you. So they would be on our social media platforms, and the thousands of people that follow us on these platforms will see them and see how special they are to you. So please follow us on Instagram at Mainland 98.3 FM. Send us a message with the name of that special woman and why you care about her so much, and we'll put it on our social media platforms. Also listen to all our programs across board. We'll be telling you or telling the stories of strong women. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Chimamanda, Mojisola Adeyeye, many women that have some Kuti, as many women as possible. We would play for you who they are, what they represent, the life that they led, all of them. So across the day we would play, just so you familiarize yourself with strong women and you understand that women are also doing the best that they can to leave an indelible mark in our society. Let's go back to the conversation. We have here Akpoti Uduahan's harassment claim, sign of weakness, says Itagiwa. The Punch tells us that a former lawmaker for Cross River South Senatorial District, Senator Florence Itagiwa, has dismissed Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduahan's claim of sexual harassment, stating that women cannot be harassed once they become senators. Speaking on Arise TV on Tuesday, Itagiwa argued that it is a sign of weakness for female lawmakers to make such claims. Akpoti Uduahan had alleged that the Senate President Godswill Akpabio frustrated her motions on Ajaokuta Steel Company because she refused his sexual advances. And she says, and I quote now, however, by the time you contest election and get to the Senate, you have passed that stage of your life of being sexually harassed. You go there to serve and you are equal in that place. Father, I need you to give me a minute. I want us to hear.
Yeah, I think there's a sound.
Yeah, I want us to hear from the horse's mouth so that we're not accused of paraphrasing what she said. Please take a listen. We'll be back for analysis.
But by the time you contest election and get to Senate, you understand? You have passed that. You know, you have passed that stage of your life of being sexually harassed.
Really?
So yes, by the time if you go there and start, you have passed that. You go there, so you are all equal in that Senate.
So, really? So
yes,
if somebody
you are all equal,
as a
it's
president,
out of order. And again, it shows weakness. You don't allow it.
So is it a show of weakness for a woman to speak out?
It cannot happen in the Senate.
Really?
I'm not saying that the lady is lying.
So
I'm not done. But again,
out?
my dear, when you get to Senate, you are there as a person. You are not there as a man or woman. You are there as a person. It doesn't matter what you are carrying between
but she's
whatever.
Complaining
you
that there's no equality.
You are there. And then, mind
That's
you,
what she's complaining about.
I don't think at the stage of, I respect that girl. I like her. She's very intelligent, very, very well spoken. You understand? But I do not think that the person you call sir, because first of all, if you call somebody sir, then you are giving the person a cane to whip you.
Fuad, that is Itagiwa, who says that there's a certain stage that you get to, especially when you have contested for the Senate. No, she says nobody can harass you at that point because they don't even see you as a man or a woman. You are just a person who is there. And so if you have contested and you have won, at that stage, it is not possible for anybody to sexually harass you. Yeah, that's what she said. That's the question.
Well, with all due respect to Senator Florence Itagiwa, Mama Bakassi herself, as she used to be called, there's nothing logical in what she's saying or what she has said. And I just have to look for the best word to explain myself or get my analysis out on what she's trying to say. Because how do you jump to the conclusion that, once you become a senator, you cannot be sexually harassed again? How does that make any sense? Do you know what it means? What sexual harassment is? No matter who you are, so far someone is superior to you, or even not superior to you, there are men who cannot just control themselves. You understand what I'm saying? And this is the reason why people don't speak out. Sage, because of victim blaming, which is even the reason why sexual harassment has become widespread. The reason why people complain about it is because when you talk, nobody believes you. When you talk, people want to victim shame you, victim blaming. That's what she's doing. And I'm surprised that it's a woman doing this against a woman. Say, remember the other one too. They said in the Senate Chief Whip. Again, these are the things that gives you the impression, gives you an idea of the thinking, the behavior, the character of the people leading us. So it was one of the most prominent, powerful senators that we've had in the past. And if for us to just come to the conclusion that, once a woman is elected as a senator, she can no longer be sexually harassed. I'm like, where is that coming from?
Well, Fuad, she went on ahead to, she said more actually. She said, well, if you don't want to be sexually harassed as a woman, that you should be confident, you should be unapproachable, and many other things. That
How do you do that? How do you become unapproachable?
You wear turns on your body, or you start wielding daggers.
She should cover all her body, have you not even noticed? Because again, I've seen Senator Natasha with her veil most times in the Senate. Have you noticed?
Yeah, she's mostly
veiled. So the extent that you almost even mistake her for a Muslim, like a practicing Muslim woman. Because most times that I see her appear in the Senate, she's always in her veil. Well covered up. Except in other occasions where you see her, she dresses down, all of that. And so if you say, she should be unapproachable, how does she do that? Oh, by what? She should just cover herself up or become... She's not making any sense. I'm sorry. That's what I'm saying. There's no logic in what she's saying. And I've seen a pattern on this Natasha Akpoti situation. Have you seen that most of the women, especially current senators and past senators, or past legislators who have come to talk, have taken the same position on this matter?
Yeah.
Oh, in fact, I think it was Tğᴇ Gibi. And I felt a bit disappointed. That's how she's always enjoyed privileges. Why is she complaining? Look, this has always been a position. Say, whenever a woman comes up to accuse a man of sexual harassment, until it is proven otherwise, I will first want to believe the woman. As much as I'm expecting that, look, it has to be proven. And you want to give the benefit of doubt to the man. But it is just always very right to first take the position of the woman and then begin to see whether there's any truth to it or facts to it. But for you to just go ahead and condemn and shut that conversation down by saying, oh, once you are elected a senator, you can no longer be sexually harassed, just is an opportunity for victim blaming. And that's why you have the culture of silence. When people are harassed, you see people raped, they cannot come out to talk. You see women harassed, they can't come out to talk. Because there are people there in the society who are going to do the same things to them, shame them, victim blame them, and keep them quiet. So even Natasha can come out and say, look, I've been sexually harassed. And we are still waiting for the Senate president to properly defend himself against this allegation. Then you have other women. It's just shocking. See? It's shocking because, again, for sexual predators, this is like weaponizing them, giving them more strength. Giving them more strength. We're not saying the Senate president is guilty, but we are saying that he has not really been able to properly defend himself against this allegation, even though the case is still in court. But again, whatever Fᴜʟ SᴜΤᴜ was saying, with all due respect, madam, on that television interview, does not make any sense. It's so illogical. I don't even know where that is coming from.
Fuad, hold on a second, okay? Let's listen to this one, all right? And then we'll round off on that conversation.
Let her do the right thing. The point we are trying to draw home here is that this is a complete falsehood. This is an attempt to discredit the Senate president. And this is not the first time. Just give me some time. This is not the first time this woman is doing this. This is a woman that have accused Yahaya Bello of sexual harassment. This is the same woman that have accused the... I'm coming. Allow me to flow. Allow me to flow.
Okay.
This is the same woman that accused ᴛᴏᴘ, the former media aide to Jonathan, of sexual harassment. This is a woman I saw in a video yesterday accusing a minister of sexual harassment. Are you the only woman in Nigeria, Senator Natasha? What is wrong with you?
Oh, your mic.
But Senator
okay, 1 second.
This is madness.
Senator Webber, just because
Nigerian women should rise against it. Let me tell you something.
Yes.
Senator Natasha is spoiling game for Nigerian women trying to enter politics because nobody will vote for a woman. No, I'm telling you, if women can behave this way, then that is danger.
Well, that's a generalization. That's a generalization.
And I have my points.
Senator Wimboy, that's a generalization.
In this latent provocation, you accuse her, you want to sexually harass me. Who are you?
All right.
A mother of 6.
She's a woman.
A mother of 6 from different men. Without going to her character, this is a mother of 6 from different men.
All right, there's a
I don't think
question.
that her character is not questionable.
All right, Mr.
Sexual
Mbowe.
allegations don't have anything to do with
His
with her marital
business.
status
His business.
or the number of
His
children she has.
business. I'm telling you, his
Let me
business.
ask you the next question.
I'm going to her character.
Can
She
we-
has to change.
But this is misogyny here.
Yeah, I'm telling you the truth.
Can we
blatant
ask you
here.
the next question?
Go ahead, I'm here for you.
Whew.
What I deliberately left the interaction with the
No, it's fine,
host of
I
the
still
show.
understand
Yes, I
that.
did it intentionally so they can understand that even attempts
That
to
was on
get
the
him,
right TV, yeah.
yes, even to get him to stay his tongue
That's
on
the
attacking
senator.
her character. The deputy
You
chief
know that's
whip,
the senator.
he's the deputy chief whip, and he says that why should we, or he insinuated, why should we believe a woman that has 6 kids from 6 different men of sexual assault? Why is she
Really?
always saying people are trying to sexually assault her? Is she the only woman in the Senate? Is she the only one there? Why is she
That
the
is
only one
spoiling
there?
the opportunity for other
Yeah,
women.
that because now nobody is going to ever vote for women, because women now at any slight provocation would say they are trying to sexually harass me. Again, his thoughts is the question here, Fuad. I need you to give me an answer to this. Is this the general thinking of men in power?
No. What, men in power, I don't know. I can't generalize. Honestly, it will be wrong for me to generalize because there are people in different positions of authority, who I expect, their thought processes, the way they think, the way they carry themselves, very logical in conversation. So it would be wrong to generalize. But for this deputy chief whip, this particular senator, it would be nice to get him to sit down and ask him some critical questions about logic and critical reasoning. I keep telling you about an electoral system that positions the worst of us to rule the best of us. If this is the thinking of a senator, of a Nigerian senator, Sage, again, if you do a lot of research, Sage, about why women don't speak out, this is the reason why they don't even speak out when they are asked. Have you noticed that most of the women who are either raped or sexually harassed don't speak out because of things like this? Oh, she has to go into her character, she has to go into her personal life, that because she has 6 children for 6 different men, so be it. This is a happily married woman. She has a husband that is currently standing by her. I don't even know whether there's any fact to it, but even if there's a fact to it, whether she is a married woman. And like my psychologist was jokingly telling us on Sunday on the show, all the other women are not like Natasha. That's just a fact. It is established, whether you like her or you don't like her, that's a very beautiful and attractive woman. And with that level of beauty, she's probably susceptible to sexual harassment. You understand? It's not like every other female lawmaker. She's so attractive and beautiful. The 4 other women in the Senate who are saying, nobody has ever harassed them, I'm sorry, I'm not like her. So I would have thought that, look, this should have been approached in a more methodical, more responsible way. That all of these attempt to gaslight her because she has come out to speak out. Look, one of the things every Nigerian or every responsible human being or even parents would do is to encourage their girl child to have the boldness to be able to speak out whenever they are faced with things like this. So I would have thought that our women would have seen Natasha as a clear example for women to speak out when they face things like this. We're not saying that, look, we don't have situations of wrong accusation. Of course, whoever alleges must prove, and who has been alleged also have the right to defend themselves. But not to gaslight the victim into submission. This case, look, we've said that, look, this case can be investigated. I think I've seen an interview where Natasha herself said, or maybe there's a post where it was said that she said she has some more evidence to buttress these allegations. I would have thought that we'll speak more to those issues than all of this idea to, to silence her and trying to blame the victim. It's unfortunate. And look at the way the man was shouting himself. Saying rubbish with pride. It's complete rubbish. I'd be so proud of the nonsense he was saying. The deputy chief whip, a senator at that level, you don't understand this basic thing, this basic philosophy of life.
Well, that's just like you said, that's the recent update. So far, so good. Everyone that have spoken on this issue seems to have the same perspective on the matter. They've come for her character. They think that she cannot be harassed because she's in the Senate. Senator Kingibe has also said that she has enjoyed many benefits. In fact, they call her Princess of the Senate, and she's like the favorite of the Senate.
That does still not
And so it's not possible.
She cannot be. The fact that she has benefited from a position in the Senate does not mean she can still not be. Sexual harassment is sexual harassment. It's not okay. So because she's a senator, she has turned to a man that cannot be sexually harassed.
Oh, that seems to be the logic of those that we put in the Senate.
Yeah.
We'll move on to other stories now. Yes, for some reason I'm having difficulty accessing the e-platform of the Punch, but I think we have the story here. I can read the headline, but not the body of the story. PDP has given up on itself, says Jando. I wonder why the page is not opening, but I've been able to read the story earlier in the day following the resignation. Yes, following the resignation of Jando from the PDP. He did honor an invitation, and he says, well, you know, the PDP, they've not been able to resolve their crisis. They are not following the rules that guide what a party should be doing, right? He says that from even at the national level, at the subnational level, things are going wrong. The tussle for who is the secretary of the party, it's just total disruption. And whether a coalition that really has principles and know what they're doing, he may not. He didn't give us any definite to function as a party. Forward, we've had many conversations in the past about the implosion going on. We're able to really play the role of opposition because they are too busy trying to solve internal crisis. Are we going to see something of a dynamic shift? I'm talking mass defection as we approach 2027 if the PDP does not get a handle on itself. Do you predict that?
Well, of course, yes. My mind tells me that of the PDP will not allow the party to rest. The mission is APC by continuing to this matter because he is playing the role very, very well. You know, here's a man that has not shown any seed of PDP, quote and unquote, as a spoiler, while he continues to enjoy the backing and support of the federal government, and, you know, to continue to hold on. Most of these guys who are now back in the PDP are against the party. He was almost singularly in charge of the party, financing it, putting structures in place. The only grounds he's got to the PDP was how he was defeated in the last presidential primary. Forget every other thing he said. How you must go, and there was this, the equity, all those ones are just political jargons to justify, you know, whatever he's doing. The reality was that, look, he was almost 100% sure he was going to win that party primary, presidential primary. But how Atiku was able to pull that political joker to defeat him, I think it's one thing he has not been able to heal from. So you have him looking at whatever political structure he has built in Rivers State going down. He needs to hold on to that. And the easiest way is to align himself with the federal government to give him that federal backing and might, which is getting clearly. The other one is to also tell them, look, 2027 is assured. This is the largest opposition political party in the country. I will not allow them to rest. He's told you, if you care to listen, that look, has got what it takes to throw fire into the deep about maybe 2 or 3 individuals. And unfortunately, it's going to be something of a divine intervention to see them come together again to work for the future of that party. Because if you look at there will ever be any alignment of interest between the Sᴏᴜ and Atiku. At the end of the day, it's almost difficult for me to say, but the reality is that the PDP is dead, quote and unquote. When I say dead, just understand what I'm saying. They exist as a party. But when it comes to the strength of an opposition political party to give proper talent to the ruling party, I'm sorry, the PDP is dead, quote and unquote. I'm trying to define the dead I'm talking about here. So it's not surprising that a Jando, for example, has understood, he's cutting the message, and that's what he's leaving. Although he also came from the APC. And he has not told us he's going back to the APC, said we should watch out. I'm sorry, when it comes to political relevance, I'm not going to really keep an eye on him. If I'm going to be judging him by his last showing in the last governorship election, he did only about 70,000 votes. So I think he's an overrated politician, my honest opinion. I'd rather focus on what Revival is doing and some other politicians in Lagos. And for the PDP in Lagos, I've always said it, they don't exist. The PDP in Lagos does not exist. Take that from me. So we'll wait to see where it's going to come out. You know what his political future is. But from what he did in the last election and my ratings of him, I think it's overrated. You know, when he also came out and brought out Jennifer as running mate, I knew that
Mr.
And this guy does not
Fani,
even
her name
understand
is
politics.
Fúnkẹ́ Akíndélé, first of all. Jennifer is a character.
With Jennifer, you already know who I'm talking about.
I don't know who you are
Communication
talking
and
to. I don't know who you are talking
Okay,
to.
Funke. You got that Funke Akindele.
Yes.
And that was when we saw that, is this a political joke? Does this guy even know what he's doing? So, I'm sorry, Jandor for me is just an overrated politician.
Well, I mean, yeah, he might not have that much of a political sagacity according to you, but I mean, the point that has been raised about the PDP and their strength, their depleting power within the political landscape is something that we should pay a lot of attention to. I mean, Sims Fubara had to, was it AA or what was that party that his local government people did?
AAP,
Exactly.
Yeah,
They had to find a way around it, because I don't
My
think
mind tells me that there's going to be a convergence eventually. My mind tells me that from the Labour Party to party, trust me, that's most likely going to happen before 2027.
Right. Well, he already said it, that he doesn't know what next, but he's looking towards the coalition, or looking forward to the coalition, and see what that's going to mean at the end.
He met with article recently, and that's why people are thinking that, look, it may also be an article script, you know.
All right. We'll wait and see. It still trends in the papers on Milan 98.3 FM. My name is Sage Babalola. I'm here talking to Fuad. We're looking at the papers and all the reports that have made it to the front page, or we're basically just bringing to 4 important stories that have been put together by the different editors of our dailies. We're still streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. I appreciate all of you that are already commenting. Thank you so very much. We appreciate you for your consistency on our live stream. Thank you. You can also listen via our website, www.mainlandfm.com. We're almost out of time, but still we will manage the time we have and review as many stories as possible. Let's go to Vanguard newspaper. For the Vanguard is giving us an update on the Lagos Assembly saga. The headline here reads, Lagos lawmaker deny holding reconciliation meeting with Obasa. Now, members of the Lagos State House of Assembly have denied holding any reconciliation meeting with the Speaker of the House, Mudashiru Obasa. Obasa was reinstated on Monday, the 3rd March 2025, after Mojisola Miranda resigned following pressure from party leaders and other stakeholders. A report claimed on Tuesday, the 4th March 2025, that the Speaker was in a reconciliatory meeting with the lawmakers. However, the lawmakers who attended the meeting denied it, that it was reconciliatory. According to them, the agenda at the short meeting had nothing to do with reconciliation. I'm quoting now. First, one of the issues we raised as a reason for his removal happened again. A meeting scheduled for 1 p.m. did not hold until 2:30 p.m. We were all kept waiting, and when he arrived, there was no apology for the late commencement of the meeting. He went straight to the agenda after passively acknowledging that we're still bitter with the way we were forced to bring him back, and none of us contributed at the meeting. One of the lawmakers said. Another member of the House confirmed that the meeting actually held, but added it was to inundate us about the case brought against us by the suspended clerk, Olaleko. The matter comes up on Thursday. Ordinarily, it's a civil matter, so we were concerned that he had to involve the Department of State Service DSS, which further led to the invitation and arrest of some of our colleagues. Aside from this, nothing else happened. The meeting lasted just a few minutes and we all left. I want you to know that his return was not a selfless decision by us. It was done simply because we respect leaders like Baba Bisi Akonde and Aremo Olusegun Oshoba. In our hearts and souls, we do not want him up until this moment, end quote. Forgive me for taking time out to read verbatim what this lawmaker has said. I'm trying to see if the lawmaker was named, but unfortunately he was not. Earlier report had claimed that Mudashiru Obasa and the lawmakers were trying to reconcile, but one of the lawmaker who is not necessarily named in this report says, we are not reconciling. We do not want him in our heart and soul. We simply did this out of respect for certain bigwigs. We do not want Obasa, and we're hoping and keeping our fingers crossed that he actually leaves of his own volition. And they also highlighted that he was rude, he was late, he did not apologize for late coming, and even made passive comments insinuating that they were just bitter because they were forced to bring him back. Same allegations rather, that were leveled against him earlier about his conduct at the State Assembly. Fuad.
Well, at least one thing that this Obasa matter has confirmed is that our democracy in Nigeria is not necessarily about the majority. It's always about a few powerful people who can, impose their own decisions on the majority. Because what is the situation? We have a situation where 36 lawmakers voted against a speaker and chose a different person to lead them. But the party leaders, the so-called party leaders, felt that, look, it was not their right to choose whoever was going to lead them. You can see how we are ridiculing democracy. You understand? A house of 40 lawmakers, within their constitutional rights, they thought that, look, the man that was presiding over them no longer serves their interest. And within their constitutional rights, voted to remove him as speaker and chose somebody else. And then somehow there was political maneuvering. You understand what I'm saying? The man that was removed had gone to court, which was also within his right, because he felt that the way he was removed was not properly done. And then somehow, some leaders sat somewhere. These are the same leaders that will come and tell you that they are Democrats. So. And then, against the interest of the majority members of the Legislative Assembly, brought a man the people said they no longer want again. So they will be voting with the speaker they don't want. See? That's the democracy some people are encouraging. That is the same democracy some people are tolerating. That is the same kind of weapon for certain democracy some people want us to affect as political leadership, as political solution. And that's why we're saying that, look, we're going nowhere. Again, let's continue to deceive ourselves. These Bāභā politics that we are playing, and we think we're going to get anything out of it. We think the country is going to move forward from this Bāභā that we are doing. Where the majority no longer counts in a democracy, but only a few powerful people will decide for the rest of us. Like again, on the Lagos matter, there's still no reason why Obasa should resign. The powers that are behind him, why must he resign? Resign for what? On what basis?
Wow.
The people, the powers that be, the people that are bigger than the assembly members have said is the one that should remain on that seat and nothing must happen. And so why should he resign? Is that not the kind of politics we want? Is that not the kind of politics we are tolerating? No, Obasa should not resign. He should be there. Let's continue with our impunity. I see where it's going to lead us.
Speaking of where we would be led to, there are concerns about our budget and its effectiveness because oil price declined to $73.5 per barrel and our budget revenue is shaky at this moment. There was a 10.6% decline, and as you know, we're targeting 36.35 trillion naira as revenue from our budget. I believe our 54.99 trillion naira budget, and the benchmark was $75 per barrel. So now that oil prices have declined, there are concerns that whatever plans we had for that budget might not be a reality. We cannot depend on it. But what does this mean for us moving forward? There's still other metrics that are currently unstable, even the 0.26 million barrels per day that they have planned, with the controversy that are surrounding our oil producing state, or the oils where the states where we mostly explore this oil. Exactly. So what are the guarantees that we would even be able to meet that target? So all the metrics that we have used to calculate how much revenue we'll be able to make in our budget is currently unstable at this moment. Forward.
It's just what it is, really. And I think we've said this severally, that some of these metrics may not just happen. For example, oil prices have dropped.
Yeah.
I think our own was $75 per barrel.
Yes.
Now it's around $73.
73, yes.
And the projections that look, it might drop further. I think there was even a time that was the Jonathan era or the early part of the Buhari government that it dropped to around $50 per barrel. So we're going to be in trouble if that happens.
Yes.
Although the politicians will not be in trouble. And I'll tell you why they are not going to be in trouble.
Why?
Because no matter what happens to their revenue projections, see, borrow, beg, or steal, they will first take care of themselves. You don't understand? That part of the budget that concerns their own well-being and whatever, no matter what happens to our revenue projections, if we have to borrow, beg, or steal, or get any money from anywhere, what they will do is to place premium and priority on their own expenditure.
What?
It is the others that will suffer. And you always know the ones that will suffer.
What?
Capital expenditure will suffer.
What? The Guardian tells us that Nigeria is ranking third among Africa's top 10 debtors on the continent. We're number 3 of top 10 debtors on the continent. So, I mean, I wish us all the best, really, moving forward. I'm optimistic and fingers crossed that we really get the best out of it. Please, Fuad, I don't have the strength for pessimism this morning.
I know we are starting a rebasing model. We are rebasing the metrics again.
Don't
So
worry,
our debt
inflation
to
is really-
GDP is going to drop.
Yeah.
So which means that, look, it gives a green light to government to be able to borrow more. So we are playing with figures. We are deceiving ourselves. Whereas in reality, is saying something completely different.
We need to take a break, actually. We need to take a break. There's a report there about obesity and how Nigerians are very susceptible. When we come back, we can just highlight it
It's like
briefly.
3% of Nigerians are
Yeah,
fat or obese.
Fuad, when we come back, we'll highlight it briefly. But let's take a break, all right? It's still Trends in the Papers on Mainland 98.3 FM. Or we have come to the end of Trends in the Papers on Mainland FM. We'll take a break and come back for Mainland Focus. I'm Sage. Thank you for listening. We would be right back.